Hello and welcome to WV Ed Talks, Learning from the Community. Tonight I have a very special session. I am personally very, supportive of CTE programming, and I think that it is a great way to get students to be passionate about school and about the state. And so my guests tonight are Bret Masters, who is a Cabell County teacher at the CTE school, and the delightful and wonderful Dr. Kathy D'Antonio. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and I'm probably going to sit back a lot of the time tonight because these two have a lot to say. They're even going to pitch something to you about how you can get involved and get students motivated for these programs, and you as a business or community can help these students out. So who wants to go first? Bret? Kathy?
Ladies first.
I will give the audience or give Bret the floor first, and then I'll come in.
Oh, okay. If you want to do that way, it's great. Well, first of all, I would like to thank. I think this is beautiful. I love my favorite people here, and I can't believe I'm here getting to talk with you. It makes my heart feel really good. I feel really great about this session, and hopefully things get started really well, and we work towards a good goal. Again, that's for the students. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for that the bio blurb that you put out. I got a lot of compliments on it, and they asked me if I wrote it or not, and I said, no, that was Jenny. She done all that, and it sounded really good. I said, I'm not really all that, but I appreciate that. They got a lot of compliments on that. I would like to say, I'll go into it later, my background and things. I am Bret Masters from Cabell County Career Center. I am here to represent the school and the county on the careers, and I would love to see more students involved in CTE programs, and actually even step up to the plate and start a small workforce and get them out there at an early stage. I really would.
Okay, thank you, Bret. I'm Kathy D'Antonio. I'm the Associate State Superintendent of Schools, and under my purview is career technical education. And I'm passionate about career tech. I've been in the education business for too many years, for a lot of years, and it is truly what education should be about. The future for all of our students, our young people, is of course to be successful is to go into some kind of work or job or vocation or passion. And students should be able to, while they're in high school and college, both, should be exploring the areas that are available and opportunity to them. If you look at the job market that we now have in the United States, 70 to 80% of all jobs, every job, has technical skills required. And yet, unfortunately, only 20 to 30% of our students are actually gaining these skill sets when we've got beautiful programs available to them in all our career tech centers across West Virginia. So I am passionate in getting parents to understand that the technical skill set is a very important tool that these students need in their toolbox when they leave high school in order to be successful in the job employment area. And I don't think our teachers, our parents are aware of all the fantastic programs we now have. Unfortunately, career tech, vocational tech, whatever you want to call it, has had a reputation that really should not exist. And it was like, well, if you aren't going to college, or if you're not smart enough to go to college, then you should be in career tech. That is so far from true. Right now, 45% of all of our career tech students are going on to college. The other 60% are going into a job. So it is an education that has value beyond belief. Some of our students who want to go to college, which is wonderful, use their technical skills they've learned in career tech to have jobs to work their way through college. It has every benefit in the world for our students. So we need parents to investigate the programs that are available and allow students to take advantage of this opportunity while they can in high school.
Yeah,
Very good.
absolutely. And you know, and for me, when I was in high school years ago, I have to say, I mean, I would not have gotten through high school, let alone going to college or any of that, if I wouldn't have had amazing art teachers. And although I didn't do it at the CTE school at the time, because we're talking the 80s, and it was really just, you know, starting in Cabell County at that time. Art is a major piece of CTE. So I am, you know, again, like I said, very passionate about what you all promote and do and teach. And so I'm very excited about this conversation. So you all just take it away.
Okay, Bret, you want to add to that?
Yes, you did an excellent job. I'd have to say, I didn't realize a lot of stuff until you become a teacher, but my high school days, a few years back, I'd like to apologize to all the teachers in my core classes, because they had their achievement test, and you had to take that, and that was basically like their teachers' evaluations are based on that. And I know that they was probably back there in the teacher's lounge saying, all right, who's going to get Bret? I don't want Bret, you know. No, they treated me so well, kept me going in. I did lack a lot. But once I got to, as a senior, they finally opened the one up in Spring Valley. I was able to get out there, and I like construction. My family did it. I got out there, and there was a teacher there that actually changed my life. It started from there. I picked up so much from him. He's the best at everything. And everybody looked up to Johnny. Everybody does, because he can do it. Anything you ask, he knows how to do it, and he can do it. He's one of the most intelligent people, and learned so much, and I worked hard. He had good work ethic, and that's the way I was brought up. And that work ethic, too, got me to go to college, because I knew I'm not going to be able to do this when I'm 40 or 50 years old, 60 years old. I want to get some education while I can. And I said, how do you become an industrial arts teacher like that? And you go to college. And the only one was in West Virginia Tech. So, you know, I worked summers with him, and got a good base on the construction aspect, and learned a lot from him and family. They pushed me to do a lot of construction work, and I loved every bit of that. It was good times. So I had to, you know, say to Johnny, I appreciate everything, and it means the world to me that's where I am today. It's been a long road. I mean, it all circled back around. It circled back where where I thought I was going to be right out of college, was teaching, and it didn't quite happen that way. But I'm there now, and I just want the best for the kids. And we'll get a lot into that later about the job opportunities and having more students and more of our kids staying here locally doing the work instead of going other places.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. So,
Yep.
yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
Go.
I was going to prompt a conversation, but
sure.
you all just, you know, you go on and do your thing, because I want to observe tonight and learn.
Well, one of the new things, I'll talk about some of the new happenings in CTE. And many parents may know, if your child's in CTE, I know you know, but if your child has not in CTE or is still in the lower grades, for TAC now, we don't have classes anymore. They're not like you would normally see in a school. We now have workplace companies. So students now have to interview to get into our programs, into our companies, and these companies are run by the students. It has been, this will be our 7th year in doing this, and what we are seeing in these young people are amazing. And I can say to you with a true heart that West Virginia has a layer of young people that are just flat phenomenal. These young people are running their companies. They're doing projects that have impacted the state of West Virginia. and our economy. They have helped in the community. They've done work to do, they've helped other schools. It's just amazing what they have done. During the flood, about in the couple of years ago, I forgot the exact year of it, but it was the bad flood. I think it was 2018 maybe, or 2017. Anyway, our young people in career tech and construction companies built and delivered to the governor 15 tiny homes, turnkey, everything provided, from the electricity to the stove to the couch, to the governor, 15 small homes for people, for the flood victims in West Virginia. They did this in 3 months. Fantastic homes that were given away by the governor. These are things these young people do. They gave up their weekends, they worked evenings to get these done. That's one of the things. We've had beautification projects. We've had these people, our young people, develop markets in places to help the economy. They built the building to sell their stuff, their wares, and then gone with the economy to make a place better. It just goes on and on and on. Bret, I know Cabell participated in some of those community services. I think one of the things that they did that I'm just now off the top of my head, they helped renovate the Marshall basketball facilities down in the locker rooms of the basketball team. They renovated the entire area and really brought it to quality. And I have firsthand knowledge how good it was on that one. So, but I can name you thousands of things that are happening with our students that impact our community. And these young people are the ones that are coming up with the ideas and how they can help and how they run their companies. So, Bret, you want to pick up on that simulated workplace?
Oh, I most definitely would love to. The simulated workplace works well with us. I think we talked, and we'll hit more on that later, is maybe even and making sure the middle school gets involved a little bit with that. We'll discuss that a little bit later. On all the tiny house, I'd have to say, it was a school-wide effort. We had machine shop involved. We had welding shop involved. Carpentry. We had building technology involved. We all worked together as a team to get that done and out to the people that need it in Clendenin. I think it's where ours went to. I know there's one in Wayne County right now. I think it's Tulsa that they have worked on there. It's going into a different facility this year maybe. But this COVID-19 has had its impact, and I don't want the whole topic of today talking about that, but it is here, and we're going to discuss some ways of what we can do right now. But I want West Virginia to, it's a global economic impact for everybody, but I want West Virginia to come out of it striving. Okay, I want businesses to do well. I want to have our workers, our students get out. They're young, healthy, and want to have productive lives. And I want them to have that opportunity that I had, and that's to get a job that I enjoyed, and it made me feel good at the end of the day to stand back and look at something and say, that looks pretty daggone good. Quality makes a difference. I think West Virginia has a lot of resources here. The timber industry, the woodworking and stuff. I love the woodworking. You might be able to tell. And I loved it. It makes everything really nice. And I think, we can have our own furniture place, our furniture company. We got the workers, we got the materials here. We'll discuss all that, probably some more, but the simulated workplace basically gets them involved in a company setting with clocking in and clocking out, getting them in that mentality on what's expected of them. You got your safety officer, you got your foreman. They do all the work, and they can organize and think things through a little bit. It's a great thing, and I think that next step is getting the younger ones involved and get our good workers as juniors and seniors that opportunity to step up and work part-time outside the school to see how the real world is going to work for them. And I think it's a win-win for the companies. I think they're going to say, hey, when he gets out, or she, we've got a position for them right here. And send me another one, would you? I hope to hear that. I hope to hear that.
Right. You were talking about, I want folks to realize that COVID-19 it's terrible, and everybody's trying to do the best with it, stay safe and healthy. But during all this, I don't know if it's well known, but some of our company students, teachers in career tech, they have manufactured over 5,000 masks and shields, face shields and masks for bus drivers, nurses, health, nursing homes, hospitals. I mean, it's amazing what they've done. And what I found out today, our health science students in CTE, there are over 40 of them right now that are on the front line helping fight the COVID-19. And these are our young people that just graduated from high school who are working in the health field. So as I'm saying, career tech is a major part of learning how to be successful and having the tools to be successful once you graduate high school. Every child, every single student should be going through career tech ed. It is what your future holds for you. Those are skill sets that you can't get anywhere else but in technical helping. And students who graduate from these programs that are certified, these certifications pay high dollars for students. An example, we had our welding programs. We have had students who graduate certified, certain certifications with our welding programs and walk in to over $100,000 a year jobs using that skill set. Now, those are students who have gone through and the certifications and received the high-level certifications, but it is possible is my point. And while you're in high school, it's free. It's education that you can take advantage of and have skill sets that when you walk out the door at 18 years of age, you can walk into a high-paying job. And that is something that parents need to understand. One of my cousins came to live with me to go to a program that was held at Cabell Career Center. It's Salesforce. It's a coding program. This young man, in 1 year, with the right certification, can walk into most jobs in a six-figure job after 1 year and the certification. All of these opportunities are there for our students. What I would like to do is see them become certified, get these technical skills, and stay in West Virginia. We need these young people in West Virginia. Our economy needs you. Our workforce needs you, and hopefully we can get a number of our young people to stay here.
I agree with you so much, Kathy, on getting the young people graduating jobs here instead of going other places. And with the COVID-19 and stuff, it's put a hit for everybody. I think, I want us to come out of it good. And I feel so much that it's an eye-opener, not just for the educator, but everybody in the community, that we need to be more self-sufficient. This area, the state, needs to take care of itself. We need to have the processing plants. I don't care what it might be, whatever it might be, from paper goods to agriculture. This one time discussed later on that we need more farmers to take care of things and grow, packaging, shipping, and more exports of things, more exports of top quality type of products that we can actually be making money out of the state, rather than having legislators come in and say, hey, we're going to get a company to come in and we're going to give them a tax break, and we've got low people who will work for cheap, low wages. I want people to work and make good money and start up a career that they love to do, and they're going to help West Virginia grow. And I think our young population can do that, and I think they want to. You just got to encourage them. I like to get them out there, and I can see their qualities and see what they can do on projects. Even the Marshall project, I'm not sure, they was a little bit jittery on some things, but if you look at them and say, you got this, go for it. And they listen to you because they respect you and know you're not full of it. They trust you because the honesty that they've witnessed in the past. And
Right.
we just about trust, and it's a big thing. If they trust you, they'll walk through hot coals for you. So it's a great feeling to see them grow. It makes your heart feel really good when they do that.
Right. But the one thing that has impressed me and I continue to be impressed is the quality of our young people in West Virginia. I hope that the adult population across our state realize what a major resource we have in an emerging workforce. I have worked with lots of them. I have Skyped with students, over 4,000 students a year. Their quality, they're solid, they're wanting to do the best, and the biggest gift that I can see from these students, they're always wanting to work on projects that help other people. They're looking for their communities. How can I help in my community? Our career tech students across the state have over 10,000 community service hours that they do every year. I can go on and on about these young people. We really need to applaud them and to support them, to nurture them, and then to retain them here. They're fantastic. There's so many options that kids can get into today that maybe might not be the right decision. Our students are not making those choices. Yes, we have some that make mistakes here and there, but for the most part, 90% of our students, I would say, are straight. I mean, they're ready, they're honest, they're ready to work. They want to do good. They want to find out, where do I fit? How can I make this better? Another thing that we're doing in Career Tech, then we're started last year, it's going to get bigger, is the entrepreneurial pathway. And that's giving students the skill sets to be able to start their own businesses or create products that we haven't seen before. We've started this, like I said, this was our first year. We have had amazing product development by these young people. Last week, we had a Zoom meeting with angel investors for 6 young people across West Virginia on ideas that they had to go into a business. They could change the face of the economy of West Virginia. Just their ideas on businesses, starting their own business in West Virginia. West Virginians are basically entrepreneurs by heart. That's our state. Our state has been that way. We don't have very many large manufacturing companies. Most are entrepreneurial mom and pops that started. So we have another golden opportunity in Career Tech to give the students the skills to be able to start their own businesses. So all of these wonderful things are they're free and they're available to our young people. We just need to get parents to understand all the possibilities that are out there for their students.
Yeah, sometimes at the Career Center, you get a class and they can get rowdy and they can be really, mostly ninth graders, they want to be really tough. And that's just a facade most of the time, just for everybody else around them, in their peer group. We was doing a project for the Explore Academy where we had pre-K. We built some doll houses, I think, on this one for them. And we actually take them apart, and then they bust them in, and we put them back together with them. They get the hands-on experience and putting them back together. Well, the bus was late, and so they had them out in the main lobby, and the teachers are really good there at Explore Academy. And if there's any out there, say hi. They got their pre-K in a big circle. They got the games. They started playing the games. My tough students sat down there with them in that circle and started playing the games with them. You couldn't believe it. And the principal and vice principal come walking in, and they're like, "What in the world did you do?" it's like walking in a different world, because those students had a big heart. And I told them every time, I said, some things in life is bigger than yourself. I said, and you step up to the plate and make it happen. And they sure did. And I couldn't be more proud of them. And I'm sure they're out there doing their thing right now. It's been a few years back on that one, but yeah, that was a good experience. And I think it was the world of them for that. It was a good experience.
Yeah, it's wonderful experience. And you know, I also don't know if parents understand to the extent of programs that are available. Now, unfortunately, not every single program in career tech available in career technical education is available at every CTE center. However, as parents or as students, you can influence the programs that you would like to have in your career tech center. They do surveys, they look at what students are interested in, and they try to bring programs that will meet their needs. But right now we have, I think it's 78 programs, different programs, from cosmetology to food sciences. We have ProStart for restaurant folks. We have welding, machinery, construction, electrical programs. We have biomedical programs. We have pre-engineering. We have aeronautical programs. I mean, I could go on and on forever on what's available to our folks. And we have law and public safety. We have graphic arts. What am I missing, Brett?
Health science for nursing health science.
Right.
Nursing.
Right. The programs are, you know, every cluster of any job that you want to do, we have programs for it. Our health programs are huge. We have CNAs, we have LPNs, we have pre-nursing, we have a teacher programs if you're interested in being a teacher. I could go, I don't think we're missing any major job area that we don't have a program that suits the need, and that student can find out real quickly if that's the area that he's or she's interested in, and if they are, they can follow it for and become a completer in that particular area. A lot of our programs have agreements with colleges so that the student can use those courses as college credits when they go on. We have all kinds of IT, coding, networking, learn how to repair computers. I needed one today. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's just unlimited. And you will notice if you go to career tech centers, we do not have attendance problems. All of our 98% of career tech students graduate from high school. They want to be in career tech. I mean, they want to be at school, and that says a lot for our students. They don't like to miss because they miss out on doing something that they love to do. I could go on and on about CTE. It is the place that's happening, and that's where our students need to be.
They are. You know, you got the collision repair and automotive. There's a lot of kids that don't like to get dirty, and there's some kids that just love to get dirty. And I've just seen it, and they love to get their hands dirty and fix something, and they're so proud when they do. And it's great that we can enforce that and have that opportunity for them. You know, we talked about the COVID-19. They're going to get back to school and get that hands-on experience. We're hoping the budget cuts are just going to be, you know, minimal, because we don't want any programs to fall behind. Because again, I hope it's an eye-opener that we need to be more self-sufficient, and the only way we can is to get our young people involved with businesses. If there's any business people out there, you know, feel free to contact me. It'd be great to get our kids going in the right track at a young age, so they can definitely step up and get a credit and work. I just think it's the best. And I hope it's a win for everybody. And I think the placement ratio, it would be lovely to have in the 90s or 100%, you know, placement. I think that if you had that in the nation, I think you'd make the news, you know, that, hey, they've got the placement, and then people's going to be coming, what are you doing? And, you know, you started with the simulated workplace, getting that in. We're going to talk about it, hopefully, with the middle school, getting them in. And, you know, I'd like to talk about the agriculture part. There's a lot of farmers that need assistance, and there's a lot of logistics on getting things to work right on that. A lot has to do with, I don't know, in college, you know, you'll go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursdays. But to get like a day at one place may be better than just a half a day, you know, because of transportation-wise. Transportation's an issue at the Career Center, I have to say. And I talked to the principal about it, during this, the COVID, we actually have a Zoom, and they've come to me and say, how do we get, you know, our learners started? And I know the DMV is closed, but due to the COVID-19, so we're doing our best to, I would love to see them to open that up to a day at the Career Center, to have a day that the DMV could come in and our students work towards their driver's license. That's been a holdback for a lot of our students. Sometimes their home environment, nothing on them, but you know, they have a tough time to get that. And just to get their driver's license would mean so much to their transportation to get there and back. And hopefully we can work to get that goal going. I would love to see even jump up with a CDL license for truck driving and stuff at the Career Centers. We're going to need those type of things if we start creating goods that needs to be exported out of West Virginia even. Like I said, I just want to see West Virginia grow, and I don't need to see, you know, big companies come in and do it. I want it small, organized, and I think you done it with the students. You get them involved where they take ownership in the class and become part of it. If you got a business that has an ownership with this business and it means something to them, they're going to stay and work at it. And hopefully that work ethic and that stuff will shine through, and will make West Virginia grow. And that's all I'm here to do, is to serve that purpose and to make it more. It may not happen overnight or maybe even my lifetime, but every step will make a difference. And I'm willing to go as far as I can go. I'm willing to go as far as I can go. That's all I can do. So hopefully we can keep the ball rolling.
That's right. That's right. Jenny, what do you think that the folks would like to hear about Career Tech that we haven't touched on?
I mean, I think Bret mentioned about middle school, getting middle schools more involved. And, you know, we've seen it, I guess, the last couple of years. It's been brought up in legislation, you know, getting some funding or making that part of policy. And I know you have a pilot program, right? So, I mean, I think viewers would like to hear about that.
Yes, the pilot program. Yes, we're looking at what happens at middle school if you take the simulated workplace model to the middle school. And we're seeing wonderful results of that so far. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to offer that to school systems who would be interested. A lot of school systems across West Virginia bring the 9th graders to the Career Tech Center for, let's say, the last period of the day, and they rotate through all the programs. So they get a little bit of taste of what's there, and they quickly figure out what they like, what they don't like, or if they're interested to coming. That's been wildly successful, and we have seen our Career Tech Centers grow in those areas that do that. Because again, you know, parents and students make decisions on information that they know or can see. So the more we can expose younger folks to Career Tech Centers and the programs, the more likely we are to see more of them coming into our Career Tech Center. Like I said, 80%, 70 to 80% of all our students should have at least 1 year or 2 at a Career Tech Center, just for those skill sets that you need to be successful in life.
Yeah, we talked the other day about just even math in particular, how, you know, when a student is taking CTE classes as opposed to sometimes your regular classroom math, it
Right.
makes such a big difference. And, you know,
Right. Well, CTE, career tech, is where the academics that they're learning are applied. And, you know, unfortunately, the way sometimes we do in education, we teach them in silos. We teach math as math. Actually, to understand the world of math and to be able to grasp the meaning of all the math solution or problems or whatever, you got to see them in action. And so what happens is when you come into construction, welding, machine, any career tech program, the math comes to life. And students are learning math without even realizing it's math. I mean, point blank, because they're not seeing it as a single siloed subject. When you have to figure out the angles in construction, you're doing math. I mean, that's what it is. And students can see that and pick up on that because they're enjoying the process. Too often we isolate the fun of education and not showing how it's applied. And so we're seeing students who maybe struggle in an actual math class thrive in construction or welding or machinery, where all kinds of math is used. So, you know, I think it's just a better way of trying to support students in the academic pieces of school.
Yeah, and I would. So when I was in school, I was not a very good math student for sure. And I think we talked about that, how some students get in that mindset. Well, I'm just a dummy for, you know, math or what, you know. And so what you're saying really, you know, gets kids out of that mind thought that they're, you know, they're not stupid. They just aren't learning in the right environment for them.
Right.
So,
well, Homer Hickam said something very a long time ago in his book. Homer Hickam grew up in Welch, which is close to where I grew up. And he couldn't get into the higher math classes because his grades weren't good enough. And so, but he was interested in rockets and he wanted to be an astronaut. But he couldn't get into these classes. So the kids who did get into the class would come work with him after school and showing the math necessary to build rockets. Now, Homer Hickam ended up at NASA, and he made a very good statement. He said, nothing is hard to learn. Not math, not English, nothing's hard to learn if you really have an interest to know it. And I think that's the key to education. If you want to know how to build a rocket, that takes math. So you don't mind learning the math because you're going to be able to use it over here where it comes to life. And I think that's how we need to start teaching students. Get them their passion turned on, and nothing's hard to learn. Nothing, because they have an interest and they want to know it. So that's the key to turning students on. Turn their passion on. You won't have any trouble with them.
Yeah, it definitely at a young age, you know, middle school age, if you find that passion that they have and find that interest at an earlier age, they at least know what path they're going into, and it doesn't seem like work so much whenever you're that passionate about it. And that's why I like this session we're talking, because I feel like you guys have as much passion as I do about what we're doing, and I applaud that, and it feels good each and every day to be able to make it a little difference, and I just hope it continues. This is just one stepping stone to get closer, and like I said, I'm willing to go that distance, whatever it is, you know, it takes, as long as it's not over 26.2 miles, because that's my limit on running too. So after that, I'm going to slow down. But I think the students, they at a young age, get them involved would be the best thing we could do. Get parents to understand that there's nothing wrong with what they're going after. I said you can make a great living out of anything is if you got the passion to do it. You'll be the best in the state or in the East Coast, and people's going to hire you. There's people in just doing upholstery in cars. And, they know, and they come, I don't care how much it costs. I just want it done by this date. That's saying something. Okay, all right, then I'll have it done. Money's no object to some people on that. So if you're that good, that's what you want to have. And I think we can turn out some pro people doing some pro jobs, but it takes experience. You get an 18-year-old out of high school. He still needs a little bit. He's got to keep growing. I'm still growing on knowledge on stuff. So the younger age, get them in the workforce, see where they're at, and see if that's their passion, they'll stay there and they'll love it. And the employer will love him being there. And I just want to do that matchup, and I want to see more businesses start, small ones, funded maybe by the state, paying them back. But we're going to get to the point where we can hold our own. And I want West Virginia to be looked up at, and I think our people can do that. I think our parents want it, our community wants it. I know Kathy and Tony wants it, and we'll get together and work it and keep it going.
Yeah, you were talking about too agriculture a while ago, Bret, and yeah. I was just going to say, COVID-19 to me, I look at all this as an opportunity. Like COVID-19, if anything can come out of this positive, it's grow CTE. But agriculture to me, like a lot of interest now in gardening and things like that. So I mean, I wonder how that will affect moving forward, CTE and agriculture.
We have some of the strongest agriculture programs in West Virginia. We also have slaughterhouses in a couple of our career tech centers, meat packing capabilities. But I think Cabell Career Tech has a wind tunnel, don't they?
Wind tunnel, not that I know of. They have agriculture at Cabell Midland. The Career Center does not. They do not. If Lacey's here on there watching, she does some work with Wayne County, but Cabell County could get involved like that and work more with other farmers in the area and do a lot more to get that more hands-on work. Okay. And Cabell Midland has an awesome greenhouse. They've got fern, they grow all kinds. They got the seed beds, and they get them starters. You can go by there and buy them. So they can work with the community to get small people having their own gardens. Sure. So I think it's a great resource, and the kids learn from it and love helping people. So if they're helping their neighbor, to be able to grow something, that's good. Actually, I think towards the end, a couple of students, to get them involved, they built a raised garden bed. I got them involved online with it, and I dropped the material off, and we'll see that later. But they enjoy growing things and taking care of things, and hopefully they learn some patience from it. It's going to take a while, and you got to keep the weeds and cover it up when the frosts come in because of the weather. So those students work really hard, and I think we're going to continue to get those more hands-on for them in jobs and careers.
I have a couple schools, agricultural programs that's farm to table, and they grow products, and then the school cafeteria uses those products, the lettuce, the vegetables, whatever. They then give it over to the schools, and the school uses it in their cafeterias. We have some that have their own markets to where folks from the community come in and purchase from the students' companies that are in their simulated workplace. We have a lot of schools that have the greenhouses with the flowers, and every spring their business just thrives from people from the community coming in purchasing their flowers. And so, we have a lot of those programs going on across West Virginia. We have ham, bacon, and egg shows where students raise the pigs take it, cut it. They cut it into bacon, into hams. I mean, we have all of these programs. And it's amazing. The Ham, Bacon, Egg Show in West Virginia is huge. We have it at the state capitol at the end of the year, and these students come and they're auctioned off. Their bacon, their ham is auctioned off. It's judged by judges. A lot of big corporations like Kroger's purchase them, and they give the student the money for college or whatever it is, their business they want to start. But I think last year we had some eggs go for like $2,000 for a thing of eggs. But that's companies trying to help students, but also they use their products in their stores. So, you know, there's just so much a student can get involved in. We have, with the Career Tech, you also have the Career Tech student organizations like HOSA, Skills USA, FFA, all of these huge student organizations that do amazing community projects, learn how to do leadership, learn different skills. There they go. They compete nationally. West Virginia does extremely well with Skills USA on the national level. We have shown ourselves very proud at those conferences. So there's just thousands of things that are just beneficial to students if they get involved in career technical education.
Definitely. I would have to say there's nothing like fresh eggs. I love fresh eggs, and I've had some chickens, and I love the fresh eggs, and they're not too bad to keep up with. But I have a passion now to do bees. I think bees need to get started. Honeybees, you know, they're tough. They're tough to maintain and keep. But I have a passion. I went to some classes. I know what I need to get. Yeah, but still, it's a learning process the whole way, and it can get expensive because you can lose some hives, and it costs some money. But we need the bees. We need to get those started. You know, some people can't. They're allergic to them. I understand that. And some people, I'm okay with them. So I would love to get them started in my house. But I think if we could get the schools to get them started even, I know it's going to be some controversy possibly on that, but there's got to be some guidelines to keep it safe as possible, you know, and make sure it's not just, you know, right at the front door. It's got to be out by itself, and everybody's going to have the proper.
Yeah, that's the up and coming. That's the up and coming area. In fact, I think it's odd that you brought that up because I've had a couple of phone calls from folks wanting to know if we would start some beekeeping programs. So it's really a interesting topic right now. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
I mean, but you need them. Farmers need the bees. You can't have the crops. It's really important that the bees keep doing what they're pollinate and everything. And I love the aspect of it. And I know some people just don't have recourses on it, but we just got to figure out a way that it makes it right for everybody. You know, and I know we can. We put our heads together, or get the students to come up with an idea. The students to come up with
Sure.
some good ideas. So what would it take to do this? And they'll brainstorm and come up with it. And I put my faith in that a lot at times. So it's all good.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I just listened to you two, and I just think what great opportunities West Virginia has to become the front runner in these type of programs, you know, and we certainly as West Virginians have the passion, and a lot of these things, like one of you mentioned, was just about helping people. When the students, you know, learn that they can help people through what they're doing, it's a beautiful thing. And like we're seeing right now, examples of people, you know, diving in to help to make masks and make you know, and deliver food where people can't get out or whatever. It's you know, this to me just aligns right along with that, because that's just what West Virginians do, right? That's
right. That is right. That's
So,
exactly right.
yeah. Yeah. So, and that just all goes back to the passion too. I think that's part of it.
Sure, sure. Yep. So I think I would,
Okay.
pardon?
I was
No,
just,
I
go
would
ahead.
just encourage, if there are parents or students that are listening here, I would just encourage you to check out, if you're not already a career tech student, I would say, check out your career tech centers or programs that are available, maybe available at your high school. But check out what programs are available. There is no way you can go wrong in any of those programs. They're going to give you skill sets that you can use for the rest of your life. So I think it would do you well to look into them and see if you couldn't possibly find it in your schedule next year.
I did have one student, Blake Adams. He ended up getting a job at a furniture place, and which was really great. If he's watching, he done a great job, and he done a co-oping position. We had a discussion back in December with what the career centers can do with that, and working with their instructors, or having a coach that would actually coach them through it. Like I say, lots of times students can really do things. And once you see their skill sets, they just need some encouragement, and they want you to give them that nudge and give them that confidence. I've seen too many times at a job fair or anything like that, they fill out all the information and they get overwhelmed with every little step you have to take. If you can tell them, okay, this is what you're going to do, this is what they're expecting out of you, because they have no clue. You don't realize, they're still just kids. They don't really realize what's expected of them at the next step involved in getting a job. And if you just explain, this is all they're wanting, this is it, you can do that. Go give them that information. Then they'll come back, okay, what's that? And then you just got to coach them through it. And, it's a great feeling to see them do that. And, a lot of, we do joke and kid and have fun. And my kids, all of them, through the ones that's even graduated, they have fun with me, and I have fun with them on what we do. But when it comes down to getting the work done, they know when I get serious. It's usually Masters is on the warpath, so they know we got a time frame. We've got to get this done. Talked about trust. If I've got somebody that says, hey, I need this done by a certain date, it's got to be done. All right, we'll make it happen, whatever, Now, there is times, in the construction field, you may run up and there might be pulls on a cabinet. You have to order them. There's 2 weeks late or whatever. That's beyond your control. But as soon as you know something like that, as bad as you hate to, you need to go to that person and say, hey, I wanted to get this, but it's not here yet. We got to hold off. So, those businesses, you go out and talk to them, and they trust you because they know what you're saying is, up front. It's all transparent. There's no hidden thing in there. It means something to them. And the students are the same way. I got students that know the worst thing you do is try to start lying or, decepting me and say it didn't happen or change your stories. And it gets really confusing, and they know it's not a good thing. They go and they own it. They go up and they own their mistake or own what they did. I was immature and I was horse playing and it got broke or whatever might happen. So I respect people that have the honesty to step up and give that, and I try to instill that in them. That's your best alternative. You might not like it, but that's your best alternative, is to own it and move on. Okay, and if you mess it up, you're going to have to work twice as hard to fix it, but that's okay. It's
the way it is.
You're teaching them worth ethics and ethics in general, really. I mean, it's a life lesson.
I'm not all that. I just know how to, if you want to keep a business, that's how you keep a business going. And you can't.
Sure.
I tell you what, well, there's a surveyor. There's a surveyor my son worked for, Randy Thompson. And anyway, Randy would say, you can do thousands of surveys, be perfect. You mess one up, everybody knows it, everybody talks about it. So get it right, and don't give them that chance to talk down about your work. Do the best you can on it, and hopefully everybody loves it and walks away. I always wanted to win for me and for them too. for the individual that wants it done. And I try to paint them that picture of what it's going to look like and make sure that, now this is what it's going to look like. Are you going to be satisfied if we get like that? And most generally it works out. It works out good. So I applaud everybody that at our school that things change. There's been times when hey, I need everybody that has a good score in their core classes. We're going to stay all day today and get this done because we got to get this project done. You can keep them the whole day, the next day or next week, whatever, but I need to get this done. And most generally the teachers and staff there say, do what you can do, bring him back. He's caught up or she's caught up. We'll finish it up later with them. We can, just switch it around a little bit. So that's a lot in all that to try to get projects done is the time frame. Sometimes when you get there and set up tools and unload it, get it going, you got to work, and next thing you know, you got to pick them all back up and go. Sometimes it's a matter of logistics wise, if you can have a full day at work and then go back to the core classes a whole day, sometimes that works out better. And we usually don't do that unless the time frame is that the individual or company has a deadline of their own, and you got to respect their time as well as our time. So we've so far, I think everybody has a good rapport with us, and they would come back again, and they are. You do something good, and then next thing you know, business keeps coming. Pretty soon you get overwhelmed with a lot of it. So, but being too busy can be a good thing, I think. So.
Yes, it is.
So I have two questions, and I don't know, Bret, you always say there's layers to CTE and all that. I don't know if you've missed anything or if there's anything else you want to talk about, but I do want to make sure that we talk about what will it take. Where can the community or parents or even students or anyone that wants this to happen, businesses, how can they advocate to get more funding for CTE programs in schools? We are very fortunate in Cabell County, and there's other counties that have great programs, but we know that that's not the case statewide. So where counties are suffering, just trying to make ends meet. So how can we advocate for you all as the community?
Well, of course, everybody's the legislature. I mean, that's really, since it's part of the school system.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the legislature in West Virginia is very pro-CTE. They have been very generous in their funding to Career Tech. They speak very highly of Career Tech at the Capitol. I guess it's, probably it's got to be to get more than we have now will probably take a community effort between businesses, education, and parents like a community piece to look at what programs would you like to see in your area to grow the economy of your town, your district, your county. Mm-hmm. And then look at what would it take to get that to happen. I think it was almost like a grassroots effort because I can tell you your legislators have been especially kind. Even in the lean years in West Virginia, we are last to have our budgets cut. So they understand the value and the quality of it. I think to grow the numbers of coming to Career Tech, I think that's awareness campaign, and that's getting parents or getting forums or getting business people to help send the message that yes, it is important that you have these skill sets. I think that's how we grow it. Money for programs, we're starting up. We've got an aerospace program that's starting up I'm trying to remember if Cabell has an aerospace. Are they going to put one in?
I thought that I thought I read
I
that.
think they are, because
Yeah.
Marshall is going to have a flight school.
Mhm.
And so we are trying to align our programs so these students have a pathway. That's going to be a huge boost to West Virginia's economy and hopefully to Marshall. So, but back to your question, you know, I think the awareness piece with parents will have to involve community action and businesses especially. Businesses can drive that to happen. So one of your all community members, Chris Miller at Dutch Miller, he took 10 mechanic interns into his businesses last year. And they were 10 young men they were from I think 4 different counties. And he took the top, or 5 different counties, and he took the top 2 mechanic students in every one of those counties and gave them an internship. And the idea was they would have it paid, they're paid, so they're paid interns. But at the end of it, he was going to choose which ones that he wanted to keep for his business. Well, it ended up he wanted all 10 of them. So
Right.
he not only did he pay these students, he gave them $1,000 worth of tools when they graduated and a $500 signing bonus for every one of these young people. That was just phenomenal. And he got 10 excellent workers. And then the students then had an opportunity for great success. They had jobs the day they graduated from high school. They walked into their job, and a good paying job as a mechanic. So these are the partnerships with business and industry that we need to grow in West Virginia, because then we got an automatic pipeline moving in for these companies.
Yeah. And I would say was a perfect way to bring awareness to it, because I watched the news and
well,
saw
Rubberlight that's in your community hired two young interns out of Spring Valley to work with them. So we do have instances of that happening. We just need more businesses aware of what's available to them.
Well, the legislators, they may be supportive of CTE and say that they are. That's great. I don't know if I think Chad Lovejoy might be watching, or even Sean Hornbuckle, but if you look, a lot of that with all the money that was spent to keep things going, and I'm thinking months, and paperwork and time and money and effort spent on charter schools that is more than likely not going to have CTE classes. It's going to be online things, and a lot of legislators voted for it. But it's not going to affect them. They said it's not going to affect you here in Wayne County or probably Cabell County. But why would they spend so much time, money, and effort on that if they could use those funds to put into a small part of the CTE? They could use that as a stepping stone to get from the work to get another type of out of school and have a small type of business even started. It would be great if we just had a small business. Nothing but CTE students. They come up with their own and have the finances to do that. It's going to be small steps to get it done, to be that self-sufficient like I want to see West Virginia to become. But I think it's going to have to take from the Capitol. It's going to have to help us out on getting those jobs. I know students that do really well and graduate, and there's not a good enough job for them here, really. They may say, I can see it. I go by my son. He said, I can see the end of it, and that's not where I want to be at. I can see the end. That's it. That's where I want to be. That's the end of it. I don't want a student or individual or student to see, oh, that's the end of it. It's going to be dead. That's as far as I can do. So he moved on to something else, and I hate to see students leave the state. I know that probably, I hope, will come back and make a difference. Some of them, get that calling. Same way I got like a calling, passion to make something happen right now in my life, because I feel like I'm running out of time. So if I don't, it's now or never. So I'm working hard as I can go at it, and hopefully, I can stay in there and make it happen for them. And it's going to take some time, and it's going to take the community to get involved. We talked about the trust and stuff, and I know how to build a house. You've got to have a strong foundation. You got to have a good footing under it, or it's going to fall. It's going to start leaning, and next thing you know, it's going to fall. So that foundation has to be that trust that, hey, we want to do our best, and we're not going to let you down if all possible. So that trust is a big thing. A lot of other things are going to come into play, getting those students out there and getting just a slight more experience at a younger age. And I can imagine what they're going to be like when they get in high school age, and then to get them to step up to the plate and do a little bit of work and get their credits that they need at a manufacturing company, small farm, whatever it might be that they have their interest in. It don't seem like work. And I feel that, it's going to happen, I hope. And then I think with everybody working like you guys, we can at least get everybody looking in that direction after what's going on right now. And things are so difficult to get. Why aren't West Virginia more solid? We should be solid. And I think we can do that, help it out.
Well, and I tell you, one of the most discouraging things I heard in the past few months was when we were talking about building CTE programming, and that we needed more space and in classrooms and equipment, and someone said on a county level, well, but we can't spend that because the jobs aren't here yet, so nobody's gonna that would be silly. And I said to them, but the students will create the jobs for the state if we invest in them, invest in the CTE program. So yeah, I think some of the thinking is flipped. Oh, well, our economy is so bad, this is not something we should spend on until there are jobs. But these are the jobs. This is the future, these students. So anyway, just wanted to say that. So I wonder, what is your pitch? So if there are businesses that are interested, and not just in Cabell, but like how, I know they can contact you, Kathy, right?
Yeah. Yes, please contact me. We also develop programs, specific programs for businesses to help train their employees. So I'm trying to think, there were two, what's the company? I can't think of it. The Alcon, is it?
Yeah.
It's in Huntington, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We developed a program for them, for the public, that they could go through this program, and they hired out of this program because we did a training program specific for their needs. And and students or folks that come through this program, Alcon would interview them and then hire the ones that they wanted. So we've done that for a number of, we're doing that for Salesforce. That's also in your area. We have a program at Cabell Career Tech Center that the public can go to, and it's the content or the training is specific for Salesforce, and their jobs are very lucrative if they get through for the certifications. What's interesting is we've tried to do this for 3 years in Cabell. We have not had that huge a turnout. These are jobs that start at $150,000 a year.
Wow.
if you get the certification. We can't get people into the programs.
Wow.
I mean, so I think it's more awareness and folks not knowing what's available and then what the outcomes are if you go through the programs. But we can work with business and industry in any way, shape, or form to help their bottom line and also to help our students be able to get good jobs. So we're sort of like a matchmaker there. If you know, if they're interested and they need, you know, I've heard a lot of employers say they can't find good employees. Well, I can tell you where there are. They exist in our centers. So we just need to hook them together.
Yeah.
I think there's a perfect match too. I mean, some are, I mean, there's been people come to us, and it's good to find that perfect match that they're on the same playing field of what you're getting, and there's no mistake in what's going to happen. Jeff Rutherford from Alcon, I graduated with him. He's supposed to be watching. He said he was. He's been here like 31 years now, he said. He does a great job there. I don't know how long he's going to be there. That's the thing. There's the Johnny Wallace I talked about. Does his job that he helps people out, and they call him, and you know, he's got like a list of a year ahead of time. You know, people want something done because they know it's going to get done right and everything else. We're losing a lot of older people to help train them to get to that level. I was talking to somebody the other day about Sammy Kilgore. He's passed away now, but I was doing a job on a siding and doing some soffit, and I seen their driveway sidewalk, and I looked at that, and it was immaculate. I seen the edges, and I said, "Now who poured that?" They said, "Sammy Kilgore." I was like, you could tell. You could look at it and say, that's his work. And that's what I like to see, is get somebody that loves that passion with somebody that has that ability, that natural, that they've done for years. And it gives that quality that it's above everybody else's. I mean, you can always be average. You can always be average. It's really great when you can be way above average. And that's when people are going to notice. And, you know, we said there's different layers. You know, the agriculture is a layer. Forestry is a big layer. The timber here in West Virginia, had some help doing research on that. You know, it's growing actually, like 2.4 times greater than what's being harvested and what's dying off. So we got a resource right there. Why cut our resources down and ship the logs elsewhere? Let's keep them home. Get some sawmills opened up, some planing done, woodworking, furniture, whatever you'd want it to be done. Make trims, trim work, anything, and then ship it out. You know, I'd rather, you know, have furniture with our stamp on it of West Virginia and make something heirloom quality that you can send out, and everybody wants it because they know how good it is. Back in the day, you know, you always wanted something that was, you know, old made correct, you know, and people believed in that, and they would get those things. So I think we can do that here. I hope so. Don't you?
I do. We had a question from Don Purdue, and you kind of touched on it a while ago, but he says, online learning is getting a real workout now. If the approval of this method yields its expansion after COVID, will current CTE curricula be able to expand with it?
Well, you know, on my end, I mean, it's hard to do hands-on class doing online. The only way I've done it this time is I knew their background already. I got that experience of working with the kids and the students, and I knew what they're capable of, and I could talk to them, and they trusted me to do what they could do. We built a lot of the beds for the foster kids. I know they can do it by themselves, and I put it to the test. I said, here it is, here's the plans. We've done this, you got it. If you got any questions, get back online and get it. You know, we went over safety and all that beforehand. If I've got to start a program and keep it online, it's going to, and I don't know how I could do it for very long. I could get, you know, some of the safety stuff taken care of, but until you get that experience and the hands-on, it's going to be really, really difficult. I don't see any job that, well, look at our economy right now because nobody can go anywhere. Okay, if everybody stays home and works, what's it going to be like? You know, a carpenter, you need something fixed or something. I don't know how you got to go somewhere to get that fixed. So, and as far as safety goes, on table saws, miter saws, I've got to be there next to them. There's no way I would turn a student loose, never used one before, and all that. We discussed a little bit of that before about young students coming to us, and used to, they would work with their dads and had some background.
Yeah.
We're getting some that's coming from foster kids, doesn't have the background and all those things. So they need somebody there beside them or close to them and show them. A lot of students learn by watching you do it. I watched many times with people working, and that's how I learned to do it. And actually do it more efficient, work smart, not hard. That's a big saying of my students. We're going to work smart, not hard. We're going to do it as quick as we can, but we're going to do it the right way. So all those things take an effect with the online learning, and I don't know what Dr. D'Antoni might think about where it might go with CTE on that.
Well, one thing that we have learned with the COVID, which I knew, but I think it's really hit home, is the technology, the inequality, or the equal access. It's not equal. We have in West Virginia, it really is coming to light that there are the have and the have-nots. You have some students who haven't missed a beat in all of this process with COVID and staying home and home isolation. You have some students that when they walked out of that building, it stopped. It's also teachers. We have teachers who are in areas that don't have access to broadband. But West Virginia, only about 63% of our students have access, and teachers. And that's a major, major problem for West Virginia. We really need to look at that. And how are we going to change that? Because this is evident that this is something that should not have been ignored, but it was or has been. And it's something that needs desperately to be addressed. And because it's not equal, there's not equality. They say education is the great equalizer. It is, if you can get it. So it's having access is a huge problem that West Virginia needs to address when all this is over. It's something that we need to correct quickly, because where we are as society, where we are, our future lies in technology. And as for CTE, I'm like, Bret, there are some parts that's going to take the actual people working together in the same spot. You can Zoom, you can talk, you can explain, but there's pieces that have to be done in person. But you could use a combination. I mean, there could be an opportunity to combine the two and have maybe a more efficient or more effective way of providing education to students. But the very first step is getting access across this great state, because right now we don't have it. And we have lost contact with too many children that we don't know if they are surviving, if they're safe, because we have no way of finding them or telecommuting when they don't have access. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're speaking, what is it, preaching to the choir right now. That's
right. I mean, that is a major issue that needs to be addressed in this state.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've heard a lot of communication too with there's a lot of students. The parents are working at home too.
Yeah.
So
Right.
how many devices you got? How much bandwidth you got? I mean, I'm out here. I'm glad I've got something right in the signal right now. I'm one electric pole from being Amish out here. So get out, I'm gone. So those devices, and if they can get a device, possibly and keep that. But there's a lot of responsibility with that and all that. So there's you got to weigh it all out. It'd be nice to have it in case something happened like this ever again. I hope it never does. But that they could take home and have while they're there. But again, they have to have the internet service at their home, and like I said, their parents may be at home working also. So all that has to be considered. Especially if you got 2 or 3 kids, and they got homework assignments for all those. You need quite a few devices and a lot of internet service to keep all that going. So it'll be a challenge to for everybody. But we've got to work towards that.
Yeah.
So what else, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we sign off? I'm going to tell you a secret now. Somehow our broadcast got ended Facebook Live. That's why there's not been any questions, but it's recording. So I'm going to rebroadcast it because this has been an amazing conversation. Sure. And then so when people ask questions as I broadcast it live, I will send those questions to you two, and so they can get answered. So a little attack when it works, it's great, right? So,
that's fine. That's super. I would love for people to question, because that's the only way we get our knowledge and our story out there. And I'd be happy to answer any question or provide any information that they might want. So
you had a great audience building. I'm like so sad, but that's okay. That's we got a recording, so it'll work fine.
It's fine. It's good.
How did we get Don Purdue's question?
It was right before it cut off. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, you were getting very good comments, but anyway, but that's good. I had to do this another time because someone couldn't do it at 7, so we recorded it.
Sure, and played it. That's fine. I'd be happy to do that. No problem.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So is there anything else you all wanted to discuss before we sign off, or?
I think we covered pretty well, other than, just when school starts back up, check out your career tech centers and see what's being offered.
Yeah, and definitely see what's being offered there. I do appreciate both of you here to discuss things. There is a lot of layers to it, like I discussed, and I hope we can continue to encourage more CTE. And I do want all of our programs to grow. That Blake Adams, we told you give people hard times all the time. He said we did the new cosmetology thing, and he goes, "Well, there's a cosmetology." He goes, "Masters, you can help on that too." He goes, "You know a lot about hair products." And I said, "Oh yeah, we got." So we have fun, and I work with the kids, and we done some painting down there. Is what we did before we opened it up. Painting, and I think we filled some holes and stuff in the walls and things, some drywall work. So all those things are heartfelt to me, and I appreciate your all's time. I do have a lot more stuff I want to get done, and trying to get the more businesses started, and that's going to come from legislation to try to get those started. And it don't have to be big businesses. It don't have to be corporations that want to come in and get tax breaks and low wages on employees. I want just to be self-sufficient as a state. So I appreciate you.
Well, I would love to continue to work with both of you and try to help in any way I can. I dabble a little bit in the legislation. I dabble in parents. Right. That's my main thing, organizing parents. So if I can create an awareness campaign, educate them on what the programs do or can do for their children, I mean, I am, I'm here. So I want you all to know that.
Thank you. I'll tap into you. Thank you. Okay, Jenny, thank you. And thank you for inviting me tonight. Thank you, Bret. So appreciate it. Okay.
All right.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Yes, you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So Bret, you brought, you gave me some pictures of some of your students doing some of their work. Can you kind of take us through it, and then we have a little special video at the end?
Sure. Let's look at some of the pictures. Showing right there is Caden. He's my foreman. That's his sister's house. That was the before right here, and they actually renovated. And here's some of the after shots that Caden did. Helping his dad helped out. They had to cut the countertop. There was issues with that. He sent some things. Here's Casey's. He done a raised flower bed or garden bed. Actually, I brought him some tomato plants, pepper plants. He can list some stuff on there possibly. He tilled off the soil, and he even covered it up so the frost wouldn't get it. He took good care of it. That was his project. We done it online. He done some research and enjoyed it. And then we were going to go to, that's Logan, Ryder, and there's Nick, they're brothers, and they're working on a picnic table. They have orders now for them. More and more people are wanting them. So get a hold of Nick and Logan. That one there, I think, is an 8-foot picnic table. They even got that one actually was stained. They stained it. They showed me pictures of it online today. So that one, and they got another one they did for their aunt or uncle, I think. So if you need a picnic table, get a hold of them. Nash, he gave this shot here of the sunset and the bed. He done this one all by himself. That's part of the Gemini project, and goes on to Dylan. He worked on the bed, a different bed on his own too, that goes to the foster kids for the Gemini project. So all the kids have stayed really busy, what they could. I dropped off the lumber. There he is finishing up. He's got it ready to go. Cameron done some painting at home. I wanted to stay busy. I said, just look around. You'll find something that needs to be done. And he done it. He needed a shelf for his closet. He's going to put shoes on there. I cut that. He built that. After we got Cameron, we got the video here of Nick and Logan. I told them, hey, you've got 2 of you. Everybody else is doing one bed by themselves. I said, you guys, there's 2 of you. You got to step up and you got to do a time lapse on it. So they set the camera up. They did a quick video on it. I did have Mr. May in his coding class to edit it, to splice it together and put a little music with it. So they helped me out on that. Part of what we do. I give him a call, I help him out, and we'll help him out if we need to. So these kids did a great job, and I picked the bed up, and it looks great. So take a look at what they did.
I'm Nick, and I'm Logan. We're in Mr. Masters Building Technology class at the Career Center. And today, we're going to make a time lapse of us building a bed for the Gemini project. Mr. Masters is on his way right now to deliver the materials. Goes to the side rail. We have 10 slots. This is the roof. And down here, these are the footboard posts. Right here, we have the headboard post. One, and then this is the headboard cap. So we just finished this bed. It started raining on us, so we put it on the porch. It took us about an hour, hour and a half. Here's what the bed looks like. So we can't fit the whole thing in the camera, but headboard's up on this end, footboard's down there. This is the middle. There's 10 different slats in here. Each one is spaced out with a piece of cardboard that we cut. 4 9/16 inches long. We use square tip screws on these, on everything pretty much. And that wasn't the best choice, but it's what we had to work with. So if we have to do this next time, star tips would be preferred. But we had trouble with our drill. So we had trouble with our drill. It didn't have enough power in it to get all these screws in here. So we had to switch to a corded drill, and that worked out better than the end. Some of the boards were bowed, and we didn't have clamps. So it took us longer because we had to hold them together and then drill them and put them in there. But all in all, it was a really fun project, and we're glad we could help out. And thanks, Mr. Masters, for bringing us the wood.
Been good. Been good.
Well, can you think of anything else you wanted to say that maybe you didn't get to say, or was that pretty good for the first time getting all this out?
I think I think, you know, it can be overwhelming at times, a lot of the information. We can definitely keep it growing though. And I don't know, I think we need to get the parents involved and then just the community involved. You get 2 or 3 people together and they speak of what's right, what's the truth is, and it'll grow, and it'll maybe get to the legislators. You vote for the right person and get them in office to keep us growing in the right direction to make West Virginia a great state. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to speak with us on it.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope to talk to you soon. And like you said, we'll just keep this going, and anything I can do, I'm here. So thank you.
Sounds great.
All right.